Good morning, everybody! Now, normally I would start it off like a vlog, but this isn't a vlog. This is kind of just going to have a segment of the first podcast I did record. Don't know how to edit it correctly. I'm still working on trying to get all the audios matched up because I did use multiple different mics to create the best audio I could get. So, you got multiple different audio sources coming in. Camera, trying to figure that out still. Got a new camera for that. Hope you all enjoyed that when it comes out, but this is going to be a segment from that I wanted to put into here. So that's how I wanted to start this off, let you know. It was talking about the Herrera versus Tony Gonzalez congressional run. Whether you're left or right on politics, don't matter. This was such a precedent showing that if you are willing to fight, you will be able to cause a ripple effect. Create that little, that little bit of doubt. Be able to show who is who. And that is what happened here with this entire campaign run. Wow. I had a little bit of a stab right there. So everybody, I really do want you guys to see this segment, so it's going to come out early. And once I figure out how to edit the podcast down and, get all the segments plays, get all the audio matched up correctly. It took a while to do this part, so hope you guys enjoy it. I'll be putting that in here in a few seconds. But if you do enjoy that, just let me know. So that way I know how to keep doing the podcast, how you guys want them to be set. There will be a co-host, inevitably. There is a co-host set to go into here. It's just more or less trying to get everything lined up, get all the schedules all set up so it works out perfectly. I also do plan on doing D&D content soon. Just something else for the channel that I think is cool. It seems that everybody likes the content that's not so much video games. I'll still be putting newer video games when they come out if I think the content is interesting enough and if you guys enjoy it. So let me know what in that area, video games, if you'd like to still see them or if you would like a specific one and then, other content like the vlogs. But yeah, I got a lot to talk about in this video. So we'll play that segment and then we'll go on and I'll discuss some of the future plans with you guys. See you soon. Got 3 different mics going right now to make sure I get the best audio here for you. This is actually technically the start of the podcast. Fortunately, it's going to be a solo episode, so it's mostly going to be me rambling, okay? Sorry about the angle. I actually lost the mount piece for this camera to go onto the tripod, so I got to figure out where that went. So we're going to get right into it. Today, Herrera did officially lose, unfortunately. But this sets a precedent for future. Unfortunately, for, other members of Congress, they probably got a little sense of, whew, thank goodness. But what we want to see is more people like this going challenging the people in power that do not actually represent them, that are misusing their power, taking bribes, using money from lobbyists, swaying their votes from what they actually say they believe in, and turning against their own constituents. This is a major breakthrough, though, with how close this race was, and I've been monitoring this the entire time. I would love to see more constitutionalists get in, people that believe in our Constitution through and through, and care about our freedoms and our rights more than any of the other propaganda out there, whether it be from the left or the right. And I do apologize ahead of time. This gonna have some political points in it, just how it's gonna be. So stay with it. Trust me. There's some good information coming from here. Again, I'm gonna be rambling. I don't have a partner. This is kind of thrown together at the last second, so we're just gonna go with it. But I do want to talk about this. So, Herrera is a YouTuber, gun tuber, that has been on YouTube for many years. He has accomplished many things, such as teaching the primary rules of gun safety and what can go wrong if you do not follow them, which is very good for people to learn that, especially at a young age. Guns are not toys. You need to follow, safety. You need to follow a lot of the safety measures in order to ensure that you come back with everything. This is something that he has taught. He teaches people how to break down guns, how the guns operate, and, just generally good information for people to learn from. So he has the expertise when it comes to gun, especially when it comes to challenging the ATF, when it comes to challenging overreach, people lying inside of Congress about what guns are and what guns can do. This is important towards, our constitutional rights. I'm now finally in center screen. I do apologize for that. I'm trying to do this all myself. So, When it comes to this, he is one of the best people for especially Second Amendment, because he is a Second Amendment advocate. But overall, he's a constitutionalist, in my opinion. He cares more about the amendments and what they stand for than what he does about the political sphere. Now, the fact is that he was able to cause a runoff, especially when, this contender has already been in Congress. People have chosen him before. The fact is that he caused a runoff and then barely lost. I think it was by 0.8% is what he lost by, so 100, 200 votes. It's all he lost by, especially when, you have the Speaker of the House, you have all these people that are backing Tony when Tony's turning against everything he stood for. And that he had to do, hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars worth of campaigning to beat somebody who he said was a stupid YouTuber. Or along those lines, that's what he said. This is an incredible feat. It truly is. Just how far this one man who just said, you know what, I'm done with your decisions. You don't represent me. You need to get out. He brought it to the races. He caused a runoff, and he almost won. Almost won. And then this is a historical feat for somebody, especially for, the negative term that is associated with people, because for a lot of times it's true, a YouTuber. He has showed he's not just a YouTuber, he is truly going by what he believes in. And he brought this all the way to the races, and I watched this all the way up until probably about 1 p.m. last night, or 1 a.m., sorry, 1 a.m. And he just destroyed it. Like, he fought, and he almost got in. Now, for the people bigger out there that are watching, such as corporations, lobbyists, anybody that is, paying politicians and stuff like this in order to, buy them into office so they get what they want. This is a clear message that won't always be the case. When the people start realizing what's going on and they do not agree with their elected representative, whether it be Congress, whether it be the Senate, House or Senate, correction myself, this will create a precedence and start to create fear amongst those that are bought and paid for. At least in my mind, that's how I see this can go. This could lead to a lot of good. Because now it could show other states like, hey, these people don't represent me. Whether you're left or right, this is such a big precedent because now it shows people on both sides that, hey, this person doesn't represent my interests. They are voting against what I care about. They do not care about what I want them to care about. I am their employer. That's how people need to see it, which means we may see in the future more and more of this, where we get the bad ones out and start getting people in. Now, coming from New York, where a city controls the entire state because of the amount of people there, we have people in office that do not represent true New York. And unfortunately, with how, the state is and how many people are in that stupid city, it's hard to get other people in. Which is why New York is getting a lot more restrictions on guns, which should not be. You got people that are rioting over dumb stuff. You got freedom of speech being impaired. If you don't agree with the masses, they try to silence you, and this is a problem everywhere. But that's what happens when you have a group that has power and has control of the majority. And all it is in New York is one city. Well, there's a couple of cities, but the main one is New York City that controls most of our population. But to see something like this happen in Texas, it gives me hope for New York. Like, Brian Herrera really did create hope. And the fact is, he could always try again. And if he does get in next time, it could be even better. Maybe he will just take Tony completely out. Maybe he will get in and help change stuff. I hope he does. Or whatever he decides to do. Either way, he caused that first bit of chaos in order to show these politicians, these career politicians that don't care for anybody that watches this, or me, or anybody I care about. They don't care about us. They care about what's going to keep them rich. The ones that don't care now got the message that, oh, we're probably going to have to fight for our jobs. And it shows. Whenever you got somebody that's like that, you get smear campaigns. There's no facts. If you look at the Tony Gonzalez versus Brandon Herrera, which is a precedent, which I can use now because it's happened. If you look at it, Tony Gonzalez was just smearing, taking videos out of context, taking content out of context, twisting words. That shows that they have no real knowledge of what to fight against them for. If you have to lie about your opponent, if you have to create a fallacy and then try to distribute it to the masses, this shows that you are unintelligible and you have no merit. Because the only way you can, if you had merit and you had truth and you had facts behind you, I'm a great person. I am caring about my people. Show the facts. Why are you smearing? That should tell you how scared they are. At least in my opinion. All this is going to be my opinion, especially since I don't have somebody to go with me on this and, go back and forth. So that just goes to show how much one person can make a difference. One person created that much fear that Tony Gonzalez, the Speaker of the House, and many others that were backing him, had to smear campaign and create lies and take things out of context in order to win. Now, if you guys see this happening in your own areas where you get those, this is big scary, this big bad, but you see that it's not fully true, it shows you that they're not trying to sell you on truth or fact. They're trying to sell you on emotion. Emotions are some of the best things and worst things, especially when it comes to something so serious as this. And that's just where we're going to end this segment. But I want everybody to think about that, okay? Does a person that represents me in Congress or in the Senate or even in a lower system format, does my city officials, does my county officials, does my state officials, do they actually represent me? And if they do, I'm glad. I'm glad you guys have people that are representing your interests and are caring about your interests. But if you have the littlest doubt, remember, you can FOIL a request. You can go and access the voting records. You can go, again, with the FOIL request, get financial records to see where the money's going that they're getting. You can do all of this. And this will help keep your areas, your states, in transparency and complete transparency. And it'll keep them in check. So that's where we're going to end this segment. But let me know in the comments if you believe that your state representatives and so on back you. And if you support what Brandon Herrera did here, I'd love to see the healthy discussion on this. I hope you guys enjoyed that segment. If you did, please let me know down in the comments or how I could change it and how I'm talking. I definitely having a second person I know which he's coming eventually into the podcast will make that a little bit less tedious and a little less me. Have more people bouncing stuff off of. So I hope you guys do enjoy that. Now, let's do another thing. Again, I'm in another new place. All right, eventually I will show it off, some of the stuff in here. I want to show everything up, but hopefully soon the D&D content will be coming. We've already started the characters. Trying to figure it out because I've never done D&D before. It's interesting, especially because, I can change my voice on a will and go. And I'm trying to figure out how to do that correctly with a character space, and potentially see how my voice acting would go or how acting out a character would go. So that, let's say, a show comes along and I think I may want to audition, maybe pull a corpse and get into an anime or something. Who knows? But I also am going to have segments on, different animes, all that stuff coming into it. A bunch of different topics. I would like to talk about space, everything. So there's going to be a lot going into those podcasts, not just political based. The rest of it has music, different stuff going on, different organizations I support. So those are some things that are going to be in that first episode, and there will be some other stuff afterwards. And you guys just let me know what you like, please. Leave it down in the comments. Roast me. If you don't like a segment, roast me on it. Or probably not roast me, but you get what I mean. Tell me exactly what you disliked, what you hated. That way I can correct it. Or at least, hey, don't do that again. But anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed that video. There will be more coming. There's more reactions coming because I've seen that people were liking the Ronald reaction. So we got Eminem coming soon with his new song. Keep posted for that. Doses!